It is Thursday, and you know how we do every single Thursday. We have Shazmin back in the building.
Hi.
You look gorgeous.
You look like a professor.
I am Professor Mwikali.
Dio. I've been told.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It feels like I haven't seen you in such a long time.
I know, it's been 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it been 4? Maybe
It's
3.
Monday, Tuesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday. Just
4.
2 days. No, Tuesday, Wednesday.
3.
See, today's Thursday.
Dio.
It's always lovely having you on the show, Shazmin. And today we're talking about something that I relate, totally relate. I had a plan. At 25, I would have been married with kids. That was the plan. That was the plan.
Yes.
And when I got to 26, my mother told me that, you know, "Hii miaka umefika goes by so fast, you'll be 30, you won't even notice." And when she told that to me, I was just like, I'm 26, I'm young, I'm working, I'm easy, no pressure. So already at 25, I'd realized my dream is not coming true at that point. 26, I was told to watch out, 30 is here. Now I'm 33.
But you're the new woman.
That is the truth.
You're the new woman.
Yes.
At 25 before, women had finished studying, they'd come back. Parents had a match for them. Meeting somebody was way easier. If you look at just 50, 60 years ago, men were getting married at 23 and a half.
Yes.
Women were getting married by 20. It was different. That's the ages our parents got married. My mom had settled and had my brother by 27 and had been married for 4 years by then. And are still married for 48 years later. And when I asked them what was the secret to their marriage, they said they wanted divorces at different times.
Oh, wow, what?
They never wanted to get divorced at the same time. So someone was always willing to make it work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's different now. It's so different because now women are studying more. It's no longer the typical finishing at 24. Now women want to work. Then they want to go on to do something with their own lives. There's a little bit of the fear now of what if I marry someone and I'm not standing on my own 2 feet? Then there's the truth of the women who are in relationships right now saying, I can't leave because where do I go? How will I sustain myself? I got married young. I got pregnant young. So it's completely changed. Is it right? Is it wrong? They can't be judgment anymore.
Okay.
And then also look at the fact of the ratio of women to men. It's 4 women to 1 man. So men have more choice than women do right now as well.
Sad reality.
And
Sad
it's
reality.
Susu with the glasses as you say that.
I'm just going to be dropping gems over here. Now that I'm
like
Professor Wikali, I'll just be here, you know, showing off. But then even when that has happened, there's also something else that is also going on. There's so many other factors that are also influencing us not being able, see the way I'm just part of this conversation, influencing us not to be able to settle down faster or probably date for a very long time. And maybe the one thing is to be sure. Because we also understand that we've seen, the older you get, you've seen the younger ones get into marriages and them divorcing even before you get the one. So even the fear of that happening to you. So you want to be absolutely sure that this is it, that it's going to work.
So that's interesting because is it we want to be sure or is it there's the option and the choice? And will I settle just with you in case? Take out the glasses. In case they could be somebody else. And look at options right now.
Yes.
In 60 years ago, these options were not available. You couldn't meet people the way you do meet them now. Look at it. You were saying the other day, people met on Tinder and have been together for 6 years. The variety is huge. You don't need to just go to a nightclub anymore.
No.
You don't need to just be at a bar. It's at your fingertips, the
Yes.
possibility of meeting many potential people. So it's no longer are we narrowing it down to the one person I can spend the rest of my life with, because what if there is another one after that? Then there's, look at what my family went through, look at what my parents went through, look at what my friends are going through. Because even if they're not getting divorced, I'm single and I know that they're unhappy. So that makes me scared now to look at a couple and say, they're screaming, they're fighting. Maybe I'll wait a little longer. Maybe I'll be single and continue dating for a while. But then are we single just dating? Or is it I'm single dating to marry? Am I dating for the possibility of settling down? And you look at the youth now, the culture is, I'm young, I want to have fun. Why should I tie myself down? Because in my mind, tying myself down now is doom, is misery. It's no longer I'm tying myself down to settle, to plant my roots, to build a future with somebody. Because there's no guidebook to marriage, there's no guidebook to dating. Nobody really tells you it's going to get hard, it's going to get tough. And it will need two people to really make it work. And nowadays, there's an option. If it's not working, it's you.
Yeah.
It's not even me. Yeah.
Never me.
I'm doing my job. I'm providing. I'm giving you shelter. I'm looking after the children. What more could you ask me to be? You want me to be more of a husband emotionally. You want me to be more of a wife emotionally. And then there's I'm not doing that because you're not doing that. I'll do it when you do it. And if you're not going to do it, I will find somebody else who will do it. So we have so much variety and so many options right now. So there's the hookup culture, which is just fun. It's promiscuous. It's, I have time. I'll settle down. I'll find the guy.
Yeah.
But then there's also, you've been with so many people before you do settle down. Do you know who you are and what you want when you do? Or are you looking? Are you dating to find somebody? So my dad used to always tell me when I was younger, he'd be like, talk to different people, not date 5,000 of them, but talk to different people so you learn the mentality of men, how they think, what do they want. But it was to open your mind to who they are. Right now, it's, I'm just going to date every single one of you because I have the time to be able to do it. And the fear of settling, the fear of abandonment, the fear of rejection, I won't deal with that in the right relationship when I settle. So I will just have this mask on and move from person to person to person. And then the new concept of let's just live together.
Can we stay? That's the thing. So we had a lawyer here telling us that even if you've lived together for 50 years and you do not have that certificate, you're not married.
Yes.
So let's stop misusing that name. Just because you're living together, you really are not married.
And you speak to people now, they're like, but that's the modern times.
No.
Why can't I live with someone? Why can't I cohabit with somebody? Why can't I live with someone, get to know them, and then see if it will work? And then if it doesn't work, it's easy to leave. But what's happened to let's do something together? What's happened to the excitement of let's date and the joy of I want to move in with you when we're ready to settle down? When we've dated to figure each other out? When you've had the right fights to know we could get through these and we'll stay. Nowadays, it's let's go get through the right fights. Let's not solve them, but let's just move on because of all the other options that are available.
Let's focus on the good times.
Right. Exactly. That's all it is. You are one good time after another. You're one great weekend after another. But then I feel also, have we lost the essence of God in wanting to settle down, in wanting to find someone, in wanting to go through the hard times? Because that's what the relationship is.
It's about.
The right relationship will allow all your wounds to come out and for you to rebuild and figure yourself out in the right environment.
Okay.
Dr. Miles says something beautiful. He says, when you come together with somebody, you should come with your own sunshine and they come with their own sunshine. So when you come together, you become a constellation. And if someone decides to walk away, you still have your own light and you can still grow and shine brightly. But he's like, in today's day and age, in today's songs, in today's music, you are my sunshine.
Please light me up.
Yes. And when you walk away, it's doom, gloom, and I'm lost.
Yeah.
But I think this culture of I'm dating, I'll date for very long, has lost the goal. It's lost the aim of why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we together? Why am I with you? Because there are a lot of lonely people in marriage.
Yes.
But then there are also a lot of lonely people dating because there's no fulfillment in moving from one person to the other. And when you sit down and you really talk to people who are doing that, they'll turn around and tell you, it's fear. I'm so scared from the previous relationship, the previous marriage.
Jasmine, it has a name.
It's called gamophobia.
Foda.
Foda.
Fear of dating again. Even I did not know as I was researching for this conversation.
Yes.
There was like everywhere I see foda.
Fear of dating again.
Yeah, what is that?
But then it's also the norm.
Is it?
If you look at research, people will tell you, let me give you all the reasons you should not get married. And you take anyone anxious or a gamophobics who are absolutely...
Gamophobics. Like Game of Thrones, gamophobics?
Gamophobics are people who are terrified of marriage. And they have high anxiety. They cannot even attend weddings. The thought of settling down scares them because either genetically something is off, or they've watched their parents in a very tough marriage, or they went through so much childhood trauma living in a marriage that was so toxic. When we say, I'm staying for the children, and you don't realize what you're putting the children through. And now you have that generation ready now saying, I don't want to be like my mom and dad. I don't want to go through the pain my mom and dad did. But then when you sit and you talk to your parents, they'll turn around and say, I'm more fulfilled now because of what we went through.
Yeah.
But then you have the balance of the people that are really staying in marriages that are not just settling, but are completely toxic, that are hurting children, that are making children feel, do I ever want to be in a relationship? Do I want to date? Do I want to settle down? Because settling down to me equates pain. But there's always going to be pain. There's pain in dating. And if you're dating aimlessly, then you're dating to break up.
Yes.
You're not dating for something long term.
Oh my goodness. So there are many dynamics to what we are calling dating nowadays, and we're going to get into that. But I just want to ask you guys, are you married? Did you know he, she was the one? How did you know? How long did it take for you to actually settle down? Was it short? Was it first? Are you dating now, wondering what is he or she thinking? Why don't they want to commit to whatever it is that you're doing right now? Are you struggling with that? Wondering, tutawai kukua? Ama, are you also not those ones for me? I'm not settling down. Me, I'm just here to have a good time, move on. I don't believe in marriage. Whatever your story is, whatever your question is, we're here for it. 111-444-111. That is our SMS line. Switch TV KE on Instagram, Switch TV Kenya on Facebook. And just before we go on a break, something that I just mentioned, and I've seen happen in a circle of my friends, where we'll date, but we are never going to get married. And we've both agreed marriage is not our thing. So
where did you come from before you decided that? Because there's a root cause to any decision you decide to make, and it will always be pain and fear.
Okay.
Right?
We're going to take a very short commercial. We're going to take a very short commercial break. Remember to send in your questions, 111-444-111. Are you going through one of those? I'm not so sure. Are we dating? Are we here? Are we going to settle down? Are we... Tuma Tukujibu. We'll be right back with Jasmine after this break. Welcome back to Full Circle with Mukali Thursday edition. We have Jasmine Bank in the building. We're talking about dating and dating for long, or the dynamics that come about with the dating scene that we're in right now. First of all, 2021, 2020, decided we are not going to bars if that's where we used to meet new people. So most people went to the app. And with apps come a lot of catfishing, lies. You end up meeting someone with a huge pot belly and they have cubes. They look like, the rock. Lakini, why? So we saw a lot of that happen in 2020, 2021. And generally, I think those 2 years, it slowed down in terms of dating or being sure about the person that it is that you're dating. But away from that, there's also so many other things that we're doing now in our generation. So we've talked about fear. We've talked about the apps and social media. We've talked about, me being able to do the things that I want to do as a woman. And the question to you guys is, are you experiencing that? Have you gone through a dating session and inakaa ni kama ina take forever? Did you know they were the one when you got married to them? Are you struggling with that as well? So on Facebook, Bakari Dank says, nilidate mkale fulani. Why would you do that? Why would you say mkale? Okay, fine. For 3 years, but at the end of the day, akasema hatuwezi oana with silly reasons. I got another man na tukaoana immediately. So 3 years, and then she was dumped, she says, for silly reasons, but then found another one and they got married. It depends na vile meskilizana. For me, 3 years is enough. Elon Kariuki says, even 6 months is enough. Just be mature enough and be intentional. Sio kuzungushana kama hamuna direction. Get that? Dating for too long will automatically lead you to fall into temptation because we are humans, not metals. But above all, put God first above everything else. Out there, it's quite crucial. It's crucial to have God in your life. Something close to that.
I feel even having God in your life, but both of you having God. Both of you understanding why we're born, why we're meant to be together, the companionship a relationship will bring, but a solid relationship. What about the dating in marriage? Because everybody sort of thinks the minute you get married, it's doom and gloom because of the locker room jokes, because of what you've seen people experience. But what if marriage can thrive? What if you're marrying someone, you'll never be able to say, I should know myself fully when I come to be with you, because you'll always be discovering yourself.
Yes.
But you should know pretty much what you're looking for and what you want. A lot of the cases right now, a lot of the people in my DMs right now are stuck because they're just dating, they're lonely, they're just looking for somebody feels great for a month, and then they've blanked me, they've disappeared. I have a case right now of, we were supposed to meet the parents, my parents didn't react so well to him. He's taken a month off. He's not talking to me, he won't pick my calls, but I'm praying that he'll come back to me. And I turn around and say, okay, but when does that stop? Because what happens when you get married and he decides to take the month break then? How come we're not aware of, wait a minute, I will not tolerate that. That is not dating. If something this small is going to scare you, then should I be strong enough to be a little lonely now? Or is the fear of being so lonely, I rather just have someone in my life and the way they will treat me will unfold? So at some point, are we also in charge of the way the relationship will unfold or not? And do we enable some things, do we not? Sometimes you marry someone and you just don't know it will go the other way. But then when you have a standard of what you want, when you have a standard in your own life as a human being, as a person, you'll immediately start to see the little red flags and you're aware of, this needs to change. We need to be able to work on this together. I'm not walking away. I'm not running away. The easy threats of, it will be over. If you do this, I'm leaving. There's certain rules that also come with dating, the same way there's certain rules that come with marriage.
Yes.
And I don't feel God tied us down to make us miserable. Because Islamically, we believe when you get married, you complete half your religion for a reason.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because it's the most toughest, enduring journey you will go through. But when you sit back and you look and you say, I can live the rest of my life with somebody I trust, I feel safe with, I can communicate, I can have ups and downs with. But you know what? We're building a sanctuary around each other. There's no other option outside. Otherwise, there's an option for everyone right now.
Okay.
Everyone that's married does have an option of meeting someone else. But how long does that someone else last? What if you dated again? What if you got married but you found ways to make it work beautifully? But then what if you're also dating and you say, my timeline is 3 years, my timeline is 6 months. I'm dating you, and let me let you know while we're dating, what am I looking for? Is it platonic? So I'm telling you straight up, this is casual.
Yes.
So we both understand that.
Yes.
Or is it, I do want to settle down and I'm hoping you'll convert.
Okay.
So I've attracted the person that wants the hookups, but I'm hoping
That
they will change.
Yeah.
Right. But then you need to be more clear also
Yes.
on who you want. Who do you want as a mother figure to your children? Who do you want as a father figure? Who would you like to live with 5 years from now? What does marriage look like 5 years from now? It's not going to be exactly what it was in the beginning. It can be better. Why would it be better? Because you've learned you can go through life with somebody. But there's too much fear. And then you look at everyone around you that says, who said, I'm the modern woman, I'm the modern man? Who says I have to settle down this way? This is enough for me. But then is it? Or is it driven by fear as opposed to driven by courage? Because to spend the rest of your life with somebody who's great, and you'll still have your ups and downs, your back and forth moments, but you both understand we're doing it together. But the generation has changed.
Yes, it has.
Completely.
If it's not working out today, then tomorrow I'm out. I'll give you a chance. Let's just see how this weekend goes. But so one of the things I've seen on our Facebook page today is the timeline when it comes to dating. 3 years is my maximum. I can't be there for more than 2 years. It's 1 year and I know. So is there a particular timeline, and are there stages to knowing that this relationship or this dating is progressing in the right way and it's stagnant now? Are there stagnant? Is there a process to this?
I would turn around and say it starts with actually how you date.
Okay.
So is it just going on dates and seeing where it goes? Or is it actually having a conversation with someone and trying to figure out who they are? What are their life goals? What are your values? What are your principles? What are your morals? What are mine? Do we merge? Can we make a beautiful future together? What did your parents go through in marriage? What did you learn from it? This is what my parents went through in marriage. This is what I learned. This is what I would like not to happen. What would you like not to happen? No one's having those conversations anymore because it's not cool. Now it's, we'll go with the flow.
Yeah.
But then you end up stuck, feeling alone, feeling depressed, and then you don't deal with the alone, you don't deal with the depression, you move on to somebody else to be able to fix it, put a band-aid on it, and make you feel better. So you're consistently dating at surface level.
Yes.
Or are you ever dating to get deep in with somebody and see, where is this going to go? Can you unravel me? Can you unlock me? Can I be all that I need to be in this relationship? Can all parts of me come out safely? Or will parts of me that should come out scare you enough for you to want to leave? So where are we dating? Surface or deep? And then who am I? What do I really want? And instead of me coming to say, this is what I expect of you,
Yeah.
let me also show you what I can give you. Let me show you who I can be. Let me show you what you're coming into. This whole new generation of, it's all about me, you give me more than I give you, it has to change. And it's not even 50-50. 50-50 will not make the relationship work. You have to be ready to give 100%,
Yeah.
and so will they, because at some point you both are not going to be able to give 100%, but somebody will be able to hold forth a lot more. But
I'm
the
listening.
dating games changed.
I'm listening to you, and all I'm thinking is, this other friend of mine, today I'll be called for a meeting. Like, that was me with Kali, that was me. But I remember, well, when she was dating, I would constantly ask her how she picked herself up again after every heartbreak. She didn't have a band-aid. It wasn't a band-aid. For every relationship, it was intentional that I'm walking into this one and I'm willing to try, and I will not carry baggage from my previous relationship that hurt me. And I saw her pick herself up and love as intensely as before. And I think it is a superpower that most people do not have. So we get into the fear of that person hurt me, they hurt me, then they hurt me, and then somebody else hurt me, and then no, I'll never be hurt again. Nobody will ever come close enough. So now I will date, but I'll date on the surface.
Then why do we move from job to job? Why do we even have children? Because we don't have a guarantee that our children will love us for life.
That is so true.
We don't have a guarantee we'll be the best parents for life.
That is so true.
So we don't have a guarantee for anything in life.
That's true.
But the one guarantee you can have is that you can love somebody with everything you have. And the other guarantee you have is every heartache, every heartbreak is your greatest lesson to getting you closer to understanding and knowing what it is that I want, what is it I'm looking for, what is it I will no longer settle for, and then what direction am I going in? So even moving from just person to person to person, it's being able to say with somebody, I want to share the rest of my life with somebody, or are we just dating to be able to live together for the rest of our lives, but we're not both dealing with underlying fears of abandonment, rejection, and fear.
Okay.
Because when you don't, that's the inner child. Those are two inner children living together, and you're both just too scared to step on each other's toes. You're too scared to go somewhere because you're both in this little corner of, I don't want you to ever leave me. I don't want to ever feel abandoned, so I won't rock the boat. I won't question. I won't be brave enough to have high standards. I won't be brave enough to say I'm growing. I won't be brave enough to call you out. And if I'm brave enough to call you out, it's because one foot is already out the door,
Yes.
and the other is in. When you look at Sex in the City, Carrie dated, her ideal lover. She wanted marriage.
Yes.
But she also wanted the apartment. She also wanted that life, and she kept it. So when you look at the dynamic of that relationship, when she was ready to finally give herself fully, she had to let go of one part of her life completely. So you can't, everyone has this dance, one foot's in, one foot's out. Let's see how you work out. Let's see how you do.
It sounds safe.
It is safe, but so is a long-term relationship.
Okay.
Because no one recognizes the safety of being able to be who you are, to come back to a place that feels beautifully safe when two people work at it.
Yeah.
There's nothing more safe than knowing that's the dynamic we're creating, and then where are we going together as this solid couple, as a couple that let's weather the storm, as a couple that understands it's not going to be perfect, as a couple that understands we don't want it to be perfect. It's the joy of the journey looking for our perfection together.
This conversation is very interesting. It feels like she's talking to me and you and you and you and you and everybody else out there. And we're taking all of your questions. Do you feel like you've dated for so long? Are you struggling with dating? Are you walking around with a band-aid instead of healing and loving completely? And what is holding you back? What is your fear? Is it a previous heartbreak? Are you married and you're feeling stuck because you stuck through it because children? 111 We're taking all of your questions. Shazmeen will be right back after this break, so don't go too far. Welcome back to Full Circle, Thursday edition. We have Shazmeen Bank in the building. We're talking about you dating and why sometimes it's taking so long, especially nowadays. People are dating for so long, and it's true, dynamics have changed, times have changed. Women are not getting married as young as they used to. We have apps that we just log on to in one moment of boredom in an afternoon. Join Tinder, and then, so it's just so many things that are happening right now, and there's gamophobics where marriage is not your thing, you just want to date forever. We're taking all of your questions if you have any concerning our topic today. Are you ready?
Dio.
Good morning. I just recently got married last year. We dated for 6 years with my husband, but one thing we made it clear from the beginning is we are dating to get married. And with time, I knew he was the one, definitely, with the way he treated me, mostly emotionally.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Because there's the physical aspect which everyone just lives at right now. Nobody really dives deep into the emotional aspect. And then look at spiritualism. Spiritualism is when two of you come together and you combine all those three. So even when you look at the hookup culture right now, it's all about my needs, my immediate physical, I need lust, I'm chasing you, it's just my desire. It's like a gatinku moment,
Yes.
right? But you're not looking deeper to say, does this person emotionally fulfill me?
Okay.
Does this person mentally tickle me? Am I with somebody who's pushing me in an area where, I might not work out, I might not mountain hike, I might not do certain things, but the person I've met does all these amazing things. They're enriching my life in a way I never thought possible, and I'm doing the same thing for them. And then we have emotional intimacy which surpasses sometimes the need for a consistent physical intimacy. Because sometimes you can have beautiful physical intimacy, but you're emotionally dead after it. The minute it's over, the minute you both are done, some people roll over and they're still crying and they feel so empty, and they want to connect with this person in a deeper way. They want to connect with them every single day before the the physical happens. So I love that, because at some point you want to marry your best friend.
That is true.
You want to marry your friend because that's who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. That's the person you can watch a series with and you both are quiet, and it is a comfortable quiet. You both don't get bored of each other. There's beauty in your silence together. There's not awkwardness. There's not wonder. There's not, could somebody else fill me? It's, I'm full, you're full, we are full. And we're going to keep growing that way.
Okay.
I love that.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Hi, Mwikali. I'm Purity. During Corona season, I got married when I was still in Form 3. Stayed with him for 8 months and started having mpango akando. You know that?
Separate?
Side mistress, Mr. something. Not your husband. So started having mpango with many guys. So this is Purity, so many guys. But because I loved him, I continued staying with the man that I got married to. I got pregnant and we broke up. Now I'm home and he can do it just... And he's doing it. He's just giving me number to the girls to text me. I think Mimi Skwangi, because he made me to hate dating because of the pain I passed through until now. So I'm not so sure if she's the one who started
being with
the
different
affairs,
people, right? Or the other guy.
Yeah,
did.
it's not very clear.
But I also do say, when you do get married very young, there is the risk of you haven't figured yourself out completely. You're still, in Form 3, you're still a child.
Yeah.
To take on a role of wife, to take on a role of mother, it takes a lot. And then take on the role of just having to be yourself. People say when you're 30, somehow you start to really make sense of who you were in your 20s. When you're in your 40s, you start to bloom because you've understood 20s and 30s so well. So I'd also say, getting married young. I mean, your frontal lobe hasn't even developed till 25. So, there's got to be a point where you wait till both of you are mature enough to understand, first, can we financially be together? Are both of us contributing? Are you contributing or am I? If we're to settle and have a child, is it just going to be you? Is it just going to be me?
Yeah.
Because nobody has those discussions. You just go with the flow and you think whatever happens, happens. But you don't realize finance is a huge stressor in a relationship. It's a huge stressor for a breakup if you don't know how to make it work.
Yes.
Now do that when you're so young. And then you have a child or you get pregnant. And that's why sometimes, it's important to think it through. Think past lust. Think past just this moment. Think past, I'm in love. But what are you in love with?
Yeah.
Are you in love more with the idea of having somebody there? Or are you in love with somebody that loves you enough not to hurt you? Somebody that respects you, your time, your values, your honor, just you as a person. What is love these days? That's another completely different topic. What are we settling for? How lonely are we as people to just be in whatever we get. So at some point, I tell people you have to know who you are and what you want enough to allow it to metamorphosize with the next person, but enough to get you into the right relationship and attract somebody with similar values and principles as you.
Okay, great. Ha. Good morning, Mikali. I'm Dolphin watching from Embu Town. Is it bad to date forever without getting married to the person you're dating?
I mean, there's no right and wrong, but if you want to bring God in, to a situation like that, they say God blesses the union that comes together under him.
Yes.
It has a different level of spiritualism. It connects you both in a very different way. Obviously, this generation's driven so by fear, the fear of commitment, the fear of if something goes wrong, I cannot leave. It's no longer coming into a relationship with the mentality of, you know what, we'll figure it out, we'll work through it. There's room for you to not know who you are. There's room for you to be lost. There'll be room for me to be lost. And we should allow that. Right now, the pressure is know who you are, be perfect, be completely whole, so that when I find you, we both are like these perfect human beings. And this marriage should just be explosive and never end. But it's never going to be that way.
That is the truth.
The realism of a true relationship is going to be how safe is your relationship? How safe is your foundation? Do you both have trust? Do you have respect? Do you have honesty? Do you have communication? Are you working around communication? Do you know how to get through communication? Do you know how to fight right? Are you moving from fighting against each other to having beneficial fights for both of you to grow? That's not the case anymore. It's changed. So you have to be able to decide, do you want to be the person that dates forever? And are you okay with that? Are they okay with that? I know some celebrities that have just dated forever and have had children and it has worked for them beautifully. But then there's some people that want so much more from it. So it'll always depend, what do the two of you want?
What do you want?
Why have you two decided to do that?
And is it the both of you, or is it?
Exactly.
I'm Felix from Nakuru. I've been dating this girl for 2 years now, and immediately after the second year anniversary, we moved in together, but she decided to go out on the weekend. She came back on Monday morning. When I asked, place amekuwa and a jam. Then she spent all time in the night talking to different men on the phone up to midnight. Then nikimuuliza tena ana jam. What can I do about this?
Don't ask. You have your answers. You're asking because you don't want to deal with the pain, but it's right there. It's reality. And this is where, I look at beautiful people like this that are these love bugs, but then you turn around and you believe in humanity and love so much that you hope they'll change. But at some point, somebody who's doing that in front of you, do they value you? Why are the two of you living together? Why are some women living with men? Are you my financial getaway?
Yes.
Have I moved in because I can live with you and have a different life with you while not having to commit? So think about also before you move in together. You might not want to settle to get married, but why are you doing what you're doing? Why is he doing what he's doing? Why do the two of you do what you do? And for anybody, the minute somebody can blatantly disrespect you now like this, what does your future hold? And what value do you have for yourself to not allow anyone to do something like that to you?
True. Are you ready for the next one?
Deal.
Where are we? Oh, hello, Mikali. What do I do? My fiance has a trauma. She was sexually assaulted when she was in class 4. Now she just hates men. Yet she loves me. I am in a fight daily. We fight daily. We love one another, but there's no intimate relationship. Hadi, she says things like, I can be with other women, but she still loves me because she hates men.
So, someone who's dealt with trauma, you have to be very, very sensitive.
Yeah.
And, the other side very quickly to trauma is, when you look at something that's happened to somebody that's been traumatic, it could have happened a couple of times, it could have happened in a moment. A lot of the times we relive the event so often that we'll experience it more in the mind and the body than we did in that moment. So, you know, it's very easy to turn around and say, turn the trauma, move from victim to survivor. But the person who's been through the trauma has to be in a position to say, I do want to heal now. I do not want to probably forgive the person for what they did, but I want to forgive the situation so I can have a life. And when someone like that turns around and tells you, I can be with anybody else, that's their inner child, that's the fear speaking. That's the person that's throwing the tantrum. It's now for you to be able to turn around and not take it personally and say, I hear you. I hear that there's trauma. I hear where you're coming from. And I can understand if the inner child is screaming right now, is going to have a tantrum, then maybe what you're looking for right now is for me to validate that, to hold you, to make you feel safe. So somebody who's been through trauma is looking for, can this relationship be safe enough to allow me to heal all parts of me, for different parts of me to figure myself out in. And then when it comes to the intimacy, it's to take it very slow, to see what are you going to be comfortable and what will you not. And then also see, I want something like this to move a little faster and this is where you are. So how do we both balance you wanting to be in a relationship, me wanting to be there for you? At what point do we come together on this? What point will you start to heal so also we can heal, so we get a chance, so you get a chance in your life?
Patience is key.
Yes.
For this one. Hello, Mikali. You guys look good.
Asante.
I'm Winnie, and I'm stuck with this one man because he's always busy. And the worst thing is that it's a long distance relationship. I want to break up, but I feel like I don't want to let him go. Please help me. I don't know.
I love it. I love when people say I'm stuck with somebody, because you're really not. You're stuck inside of you. Nobody holds you down. Nobody keeps you where you don't want to be. You are exactly where you want to be because that's the option you're choosing now. Remember, in life, you have decisions, you have choices. You have a choice to stay, to want more, or you have a choice to leave and get better. It's up to you to decide, is this going to work for me? And I rather leave and deal with the pain of unknown right now, but figure myself out, learn from this situation, maybe get back with them later on as we've grown, but you're never, ever stuck. You're stuck in a situation because of fear of making another choice. But the choice you're making now is what will leave you where you are.
Because you still are making a choice.
Yes.
You are making a choice. Good morning. I have a problem whereby I've been dating this guy for 3 years now, but I feel stuck in this relationship and I can't leave the guy because he loves me too much. I also feel guilty about leaving him, but I want to be free. I've also met a new guy and now I feel like I'm in a dilemma. Please advise me.
You'll be fully in a dilemma. And what I would tell you is you need to be honest with yourself and both the men. Because both men don't deserve to be in a relationship with somebody that's been with two people. The person you've been with for 3 years, I would challenge you to say, maybe he stopped doing certain things the new guy is doing. How long will the new guy do it for? Because in 3 years with the new guy, you'll be in the same place. Will you be stuck again? So are you stuck, or do you stick it out and work something great that you have with a man that loves you, but who deserves to know the honesty of where you are, what you're thinking? This is another relationship I've gotten into. And you deserve to actually set the other guy free to get to know yourself. Because there's no way you can be in a relationship and be with someone else. You're not dealing with certain things that are going on within you. It has nothing to do with both the men. It absolutely has to do with you saying, what is going on? What's the fear coming out? What's the root cause of me feeling I'm having the option? All that I'm getting from here, can I still get from here? Yes, with work. Not with one conversation, not with two. Sometimes it takes 10, 20 to make both of you work. But this isn't work, this option, plan B. This one's going to be. But then plan A is you, and you're going to be the most work. So you have to decide, do both of them deserve you after you work on yourself or before you work on yourself?
This reminds me of the cheating and affairs conversation we had. And you can check it out on our YouTube. It's very detailed when it comes to the different stages of the affair. So, yeah. Hi, Mikali. Oh, they keep coming in. I'm Nancy. I've been dating this guy for almost 2 years. We've been talking, and at the start of this year, a girl called me and said never to talk to him again. I don't know. Should I stop talking to this guy?
Apana, because maybe she wants you to stop talking to him so she can talk to him.
It's just talk.
Talk.
Maybe the conversation you need to have now is, why is this chick telling me not to talk to you?
Exactly.
What's going on over there?
Exactly.
Then we have Nancy, who says they've been dating for almost 2 years. Is that the one I read? Oh, yes. I'm Cynthia. I've been in a relationship for a year, but my boyfriend has never introduced me to his friends or anybody close to him, but he says he loves me. What is that?
What is love? What is love to you?
Yes.
What does it mean to you? Does love to you in your value system mean by 2 months I should have been introduced to the family, by 2 months I should have had a promise ring, in 6 months we should have moved in? What's his value system of love? And this is what I was saying earlier. It's so important for two people to be discussing this, not just dating and then you hit the stumble block and you're like, oh, okay, what do we do with this problem now? So I would turn around and express this to him, and I would tell him it would mean everything to me to meet all of you. And is there a reason you're not doing that? Because that's very important.
Okay.
At what point do I meet mom and dad? At what point am I worthy or not worthy to meet your friends? Because I want to be in all of your life. And if I can't be in all of your life now, then there's the question of, but I've spent a year with him. Maybe I can wait two more months, 6 more months.
Then maybe he'll introduce me.
Right. But now what happens when you're in a relationship with somebody? What's the difference with, I'd love to meet your family. And if this is not something you think is going anywhere, then I have loved being with you. I would love for you to be in the place I'm in. And when you're ready to be in the place I'm in, I hope I'll still be there. But until then, for me, a relationship looks like this.
Okay.
And if it's not going to look like that for you, then I wish you the best. I'm going to take this little broken heart and I'm going to work on it. But I'm not going to stay in something that's not allowing me to feel all of me and feel full.
Great. Do you have time for one more question before I let Shazmin go?
Deal.
Great. So I'm not so sure if it's connected. Okay, I think it is. Hi, Wikali. My name is Esther. I was in a relationship in 2015, 2016 that didn't go well, and the guy disappeared when I got pregnant and married immediately. He neglected us and does not want to be involved in his child's life. The experience was terrible. I felt rejected, less of a woman. I felt unwanted. My self-esteem went to zero, but I have worked on it, but never seriously dated since then. I have fear of emotional, physical, and sexual abuse in marriage due to childhood trauma and the experience I had. But I am hoping to find a good man for marriage.
And you know, I just feel, as orthodox as this is going to sound, this is my belief in this is when God counts. Because I feel if God put you through something, he's the person that's going to take you out of it. Yeah. And I feel when you do pray, and you do ask God for a partner that will suit you, a partner that will allow you to grow in God's name, will allow the both of you to grow in God's name, where you can have a family that also grows with God. I feel, isn't that sometimes the ultimate? Yeah. Might not sound 2021, no. But at some point, the base of what keeps a relationship together, the glue, is God, is your faith, is your belief. Because your morals, your principles, and your values will come from God and your religion.
And that's how we end the show. Not the show, this particular conversation. Shazmin, how can people get in touch with you? And please forward all these questions. Her DM is open and ready for all of you.
You can find me on Instagram at Shazmin Bank, Twitter Bank Shazmin, or go onto my website www.shazminbank.com, and it's Shazmin which is SHAZMEEN.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always lovely having you here.
Thank you.
We're going to take a very short commercial break. We will be right back with our Changemaker segment. Don't go too far.